You know how when you're a black person, you literally have to stand and represent the rest of your race? That's literally how it is for me. Hello, privyetiki. So today we're going to be talking about a topic that nobody asked for, but I personally really want to share with this, considering what's going on in the world right now. A lot of people did ask, not what I'm talking about, but just ask like, wow, how is life in Russia? And how are your studies? How's just, normal stuff. But I'm talking about influencing, basically being an influencer in Russia. So let's get right into it. I have my cup of tea here. It's quite cold. I don't know if you can tell. No, you can't tell, but yeah, I'm just gonna be sipping on some tea, so don't mind me. Yeah, so where do I want to start from? How did I get into this? So from the time I came to Russia, I've always actually low-key kind of been used, I will use the word used, yes, to advertise things, products, photography. I only recently got into food, and in the beginning I didn't know what was going on. I didn't see it as influencing, because I wasn't using it as influencing, and I wasn't using it. It's basically the people who were using me to influence their crowds, and I was going in the name of modeling. So I would model different things, and I was never required to use or to advertise on my profile personally or on my platforms. It was all them. They'll take pictures of me, maybe or obviously if it's a photographer, for their photography skills, or if it's makeup, for their makeup skills, but they would just put it on their profiles, because I don't know, that's how it was then. I wasn't doing influencing by that time, but I began to be more aware and deliberate about what I was doing. Just whatever I'm doing, if it's modeling, if it's my YouTube channel, if it's influencing, I only became more aware about it maybe early last year, 2019. So yeah, so that's when I began to grow my profile here on Instagram and on YouTube, but mostly Instagram when it comes to my Russian audience. And as my following began to grow, I began to attract Russian followers as well, because of working with different brands here in Russia, in my city, of course, and they would tag me on their profiles, and that's how people would begin to follow me and find out about me. So I literally had to build my myself, my image, what people see me for. And I have a friend who always tells me, Marcy, be careful of who you associate yourself with, don't, like, what's your brand, because that's how it was in the beginning. It was just basically whatever somebody, as long as I was in the name of modeling, and that's what I would go for. But now I have to be a little bit more picky with who and what I associate myself with, because I've got a brand to keep, and the brands I want to attract personally to work with me. Obviously I want to attract high class, good brands, well-paying brands, so I have a lot of work to do. But yeah, so that's basically how I got into it. Now when it comes to my experience, there's goods and there's bads. In the beginning, obviously, because of the language barrier, I would say it was not the best. I had people who respected me, obviously, and I had people who were taking advantage of me, people who wanted to use my face or my services or whatever it is for free, and just to benefit themselves, or I think they just didn't have my interest at heart. So another thing is, when you're in this industry as a black person, honestly, there's not many black people in my city, and there's not many black girls in this industry that I've gotten myself into. So I always literally have to put in so much work to, how when you're a black person, you literally have to stand and represent the rest of your race. That's literally how it is for me. Like, I'm representing my race every time I go somewhere. Like, if it was a modeling thing, or a photo shoot, a group photo shoot. I'm the only black girl, so I literally have to do so much because I know that they're looking at me. I know they're wondering how the black girl will perform, how the black girl is going to react to this, or how she's going to you know, behave in this manner or in this sphere or whatever it is. So I literally have to do a lot to keep my image, to keep myself respected. You know, I've had people who have approached me, and I don't know, there's this thing, or there's this perspective, I don't know, there's a group of girls apparently who, I won't mention countries, but there's some countries with Africans who apparently come to Russia and in different cities, and they're girls and they're into prostitution. So there's some people who have thought that I can also get into prostitution. Maybe it's because of my color or something, and I had to stand up for myself and say, no, that's not what I'm about. So you really need to demand your respect and really show what you're about. So yeah, also another thing that has been maybe on the low side is the fact that whenever I'm preparing for a photo shoot or something like that, I always mention this in my... I'm sorry, I got slightly distracted. So yeah, basically, a lot of people actually ask me, when it comes to the makeup, you see, right? In a group of modeling or whatever, I usually take my foundation with me because I want to make sure I enjoy the photos or the video or whatever it is we're working on. Yeah, anyway, so sometimes sometimes I understand, sometimes people want to feel like they want to really feel like they're working on a black girl's face and they're doing like something artistic. So sometimes they tend to not use my product and try to, or they use it but they want to put in more, they want to like, they just want to do the most, and sometimes it doesn't turn out the way it should, and so I end up looking a little bit darker or a little bit lighter in different things, or like I'm like white over here and then the rest of this is brown. So I've had people actually ask me like, Masi, why do you look so dark on your modeling photos? And I'm like, I don't know, that's just how they do it. I don't know, that's just how they do it. But nevertheless, when it comes to the plus sides, I would say there's not much competition, which is good. Like if they're looking for a black girl, at least I know that I will probably get the gig. There's a few other faces that we might get it, but that's fine. I also know that like if they're looking for me, if they're looking for something I can offer, I will definitely get it, and that's what I like about it. I've been working with like my recent one is a food company that I actually shared with you guys in my previous video, and I also work with makeup artists, I work with photographers, and it's good. I guess it's good. I think it's I feel dumbfounded. Yeah, I really appreciate it, and I'm trying to grow my platform, and I have a lot of girls who text me and they ask me, how did you do this, even in different cities, or people who are coming to this city who ask me, how did you get into modeling? Sorry, my battery is low. And how did you get into doing all this, and how can I start? And I just basically say, put yourself out there, because another question has been, do I text these companies or do they text me? They do text me. They find me mostly on Instagram, sometimes on this Russian website called VK. Yeah, and they do find me, and they'll find me through friends, or people recommend me, or through hashtags or something like that, or they see me somewhere, and that's just how it works. So I really like the people who I've worked with, especially this year. I think it's because I've understood what my audience wants and what my brand is about, and I've been able to attract the same things, and I've been able to turn down offers that I didn't like or I felt were not for me. But I have had people who've lied to me, you know, This is in modeling, obviously, where they'll pick me and they'll say we're going to do, like I shared the story time on this over here, where they'll say we're going to do a Vogue or whatever, and that's not the case. So it's bittersweet, really, but it's amazing to be able to receive products or receive like eyebrows. I get my eyebrows done just to share it on my profile, or my eyelashes, or my nails, or my pedicure, different type of stuff, and it's really nice. But I want to grow, obviously, and not just focus on individual kind of brands, but obviously target bigger brands that I can benefit more from. And I know how to do this, is basically growing my profile. My Instagram might change a little bit. I just might be adding a little bit more of Russian language, because I am in Russia, and I have a friend who's been telling me, please target your market. So it's been hard for me to do that, but I'm going to try it bit by bit. And a few people are fascinated, people who don't know me, people who followed me recently on Instagram or found me. I'll tell you a secret, right? So I have a TikTok account, and my TikTok account is specifically for Russian audience, and there I've managed to gather about 13,800 followers, all Russian, and it will be soon 14,000, and I've managed to gather a lot of likes as well. So I get that that's where most of my following, my Russian following, is now coming from. And when they find me on Instagram, I guess it's a little bit like, whoa, like it's all in English, what do we do now? So I guess I'm gonna have to try to accommodate those people as well by interacting with them in Russian language, but I won't forget about my English audience, because I speak English and it's much more comfortable for me. So yeah, let me think of. So a question that I got was, do you think you get the gigs you get because you're black, or because you actually deserve to get the job, or something like that? Both. I would say both. Do I talk too fast? Anyway, I will say both, because of the fact that sometimes they do want diversity, and sometimes I probably only got the job because they want to show that they are a diverse company or brand or person altogether, or shop, and they want to have different races. I've had photo shoots where there's me and an albino, or me and an Asian person and a Russian person. It's just because that's what they want. I've had times when I'm the only one, or sometimes it's just me and a Russian, or sometimes it's just, you know, just a lot of Russian people and me. It's plus and minus. Sometimes I get it just because of my skin color. Sometimes I get it just because I get it, and they want me to be there. I haven't experienced racism on the job, or working, or being an influencer from the people who hire me. I have experienced racism maybe on my videos, just because some people don't like me because I'm black. You know, some people will tell me, they'll say stuff like, go back to America, or why are you in our country, or just mean stuff, really mean stuff, and I ignore it. I don't respond, and I grow from there. But most of the time people are very kind to me, and they'll ask, how come you speak Russian, or why are you so beautiful? And it's interesting, and I'm looking forward to growing. I'm really excited to be doing this. I love influencing, I love media, I love photos, videos, everything that has to do with the camera. So I'm really excited. I decided to share this experience I had with you. So there was this one time that I got a gig, and it was a photo shoot, and there was me and there was two other girls, who one was Russian and one was kind of Asian looking. And basically I realized when I was leaving this shoot, we were getting paid, and I realized that this girl was getting paid more than I was, because we talked. So we were talking, and we were talking about basically our rates and all that stuff, and she told me, yeah, like for this photo shoot I accepted an offer of blah 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 blah. And I was like, wait, why wasn't I offered that much? And there are times where I've seen that, okay, things are not 50-50 here. Like maybe somebody's getting treated better than I am, or somebody's being more respected than I am, or somebody gets to do their makeup before me, you know, somebody gets to go home or leave the job earlier than I get to, and it does get frustrating, it does get tiresome or exhausting or stressing. And I have a lot of my friends telling me, Marcy, don't let these people walk on you, Marcy, don't let them do this to you. And you never really know what kind of people you'll be working with until you get there, unless you're working with them again, then you know that, okay, these people are like this, right? But if you're working with them for the first time, that means you get to experience them for the first time, and you get to know that these people treat their customers or their influencers like this and like that. So yeah, but you know, when you want something, it's not like I'm not working towards being this influencer in Russia. That's not like my goal. Like on my vision board, I don't see influencer in Russia, influencer of the year. No, that's not it. I have very few followers actually at the moment. I have 3,000, almost 4,000, and I'm still growing. But the goal is not to be influencer of the year in Russia. No, my goal is obviously to be successful in life generally, and I will do whatever it takes that's decent to get to my success. And I'm very hardworking. Anybody who knows me knows that I put in the work. Like, there's so many things I work on. It's not just YouTube, it's not just TikTok, it's not just influencing, it's not just modeling, it's not just business. There's a lot of things that I do to make sure that I am paving a way for myself to be able to have the future that I envision for myself and my future family and my parents. And there's so much I want to do, and so I work very hard, and I can't let that pull me down. It's a phase in life, it's where I'm at. I just have to respect myself and, you know, just make sure that people get that this is what I'm about and this is what I'm trying to attract, and be able to block any negativity and all that stuff. I hope that I've been able to answer a lot of questions, because I know I have talked a lot. I just wanted to get this out there, and I hope that it will be received. Anyway, so thank you guys so much for watching and for sticking with me through this. I forgot completely about my tea, but if you guys like this one and you guys have questions, please do let me know. I will be glad to answer them. You can find me on Instagram and DM me. I'll be definitely available to answer them. And until my next video, I'll see you later. Bye.